Happy Thoughtful Thursday, beautiful. I hope you are doing amazing. Listen, I've got a big topic to tackle here today. So just bear with me as I kind of work through this a little bit. I've been doing health and wellness now for about 6 years, like in a much better way. I look back at my younger years, health and wellness was starving myself to get skinny, not very healthy. So I'm very happy to be where I'm at right now today. And I really want to talk to you about something that is the difference between, going all in, deprivation, and lifestyle. Like, let's talk about those things a little bit, because I do believe that there is a time to go all in, right? Just like when you need to lock it back down, maybe you've gotten back from vacation, or maybe you've just kind of let it slide a little bit. I believe that there's a time to go all in. Now, going all in, and as always with our health and wellness journey, guys, the hardest thing to chat about is that what's going to be right for you isn't going to be right for someone else. And that's why I love that we have a community and we share. And that's what I really try to do, is share what's working for me and what I've learned, so that, and I hope in some small way, it helps you figure that out for what works for you. So for me, going all in is, maybe saying I'm not going to drink for 2 weeks. You guys know I love my wine. But every now and then, I know it's not serving me, right? There should never be a health and wellness, group, no matter what. Even when I'm going to talk about lifestyle in a minute, I'm never going to be, because I'm always an honest and real coach, I'm never going to be the person who says, you should drink every day, it's great for you. I'm just not. You have to deal with the reality that, alcohol doesn't really serve you in terms of like weight loss and health. That's a whole nother conversation, but you just have to be real about that. But it doesn't mean that you have to cut it out forever if it's something you really enjoy. Same with chocolate cake, right? But sometimes you need chocolate cake, right? So, for me, going all in would be like, okay, or I'm going to get it back to where I'm only drinking one night a week, right? And really, I encourage everyone to not have judgment on any of us. Like, some of us are like, I need that sweet, right? Maybe you're not a sweets person. It's hard to relate to that, but you know what? That's their thing. Maybe it's barbecue chips. Maybe it's a hot dog. Who knows? Could be anything. But it's definitely not on that list of, hey, this is healthy. But, there's a way to go all in without going crazy. And here's the thing that we really want to start avoiding, and that is these extremes, right? Because that's what leads to that yo-yo dieting. All in, all out, all in, all out, all in, all out. That's the yo-yo weight gain and weight loss, not healthy. That is the yo-yo mindset. All of that just leads to not healthy mindset around health and wellness and nutrition, right? Mostly nutrition. And that's really what we're talking about mostly today in terms of going all in versus deprivation versus lifestyle, is really on the nutrition side of it, right? So there's a time to go all in, and I believe in that, right? I really believe in that. I think the total deprivation is challenging, right? When you are taking absolutely everything out. And that is, no gluten, no dairy, no processed food, no soy, no alcohol, all of that. But that might be your all in, and that is okay. For you, you might feel really great when that happens. And you're like, that's my all in. I'm going to take all of it out for a range of time, because I know that's what makes me feel really good and serves me, right? For me, this is what I have found. 4 weeks is my max for total deprivation, right? After that, for me, after those 4 weeks, it really starts messing with my mind. I start getting really frustrated, and then it switches over to this really negative place around nutrition. And one thing I think we really need to be careful about is not making nutrition this negative, heavy thing, right? Where you're off plan if you eat something, and that leads to kind of an unhealthy mindset, right? So just take this with a grain of salt. Look, we have all done those programs that are all in with total deprivation. And I wish they would just call it what it is. It's an elimination diet, and it is deprivation, and that is okay sometimes. Sometimes that's what you need to do to get it back together, right? So like 4 weeks for me is great for that, actually. 4 weeks for me, it cuts that sugar craving, it cuts that wine craving, it gets it all back together, and that is okay, right, to do that. Because what I want to tell you is where we all want to get to ultimately is the lifestyle, right? It's the balance where you are able to continue on a weight loss journey or maintain weight loss. I always remind you guys that maintaining weight loss is actually one of the hardest parts of a weight loss journey and the most important part, right? You're gonna lose weight, plateau, and then, maintain weight loss. Lose weight, plateau, maintain weight loss. That's a healthy way to lose weight. So really, we want to maintain weight loss, but we want to do it being able to live a lifestyle of health and wellness. Now, sometimes you might just need those McDonald's fries. What I will say is about one time a year, I need McDonald's fries, and then my body reminds me why I don't ever need those in my life again. Then I'll forget, and once a year, I will have it. I will make it happen. But, for my drinks, that's always a great example because I love my wine, and I don't feel badly about that as long as it's under control. And me dealing with the reality that doesn't really serve a healthy mindset all the time if you're going to drink excessively, right? Or eat sweets excessively, whatever your thing is. Processed food, right? None of that is good for you. But if you have it occasionally and you've got it under control and you can get it to a lifestyle where you're still maintaining your results, then that, my friends, is where you want to be, right? Because if you go into this total deprivation and then you slingshot to the other side, I hear a lot of times people are like, I can't wait for this program to be over, right? Because they just want to go out and slam down whatever it is, right? And so we just got to be careful about that. So I really want you to find this healthy balance. Now, look, you might be in a place right now where you are all in, and that all in for you might be just dialing stuff back, right? And that's healthy. That's healthy for you to say, I'm going all in for this period of time. I just want to lock it back down. I think that's great. And for some people, that all in might be taking everything out, right? Except for vegetables and proteins and whole foods. And I think that is great. And then for some of us, you might be on a program right now where it's total elimination. And I think it's important that you just call it what it is, right? So that you are understanding that this is really not sustainable for most of us on a lifestyle. Now, some people go do a total elimination, all alcohol, sugar, everything else, and they feel so good that that's the way they want to live the rest of their life. More power to you, sister. Again, I think it's so important that none of us judge anyone else's journey. That is not what we do, especially in my groups. But I just want to have this open conversation because I think it's really important for you to start thinking about this. How do I fit really healthy lifestyle and feeling great into my daily life? How do I maintain healthy lifestyle in my life, right? So like the balance of that for me, a great example is being able to turn it into lifestyles when you can go on vacation, right? And it's not this total reckless abandon of food and over excessive drinking because you don't need to do that anymore. Right? That's when you get to that place that I love to call the turning point where, my vacation looks a lot like my daily life. It looks like my workouts happen when I'm on vacation almost all the time. My breakfast is going to be really healthy. Generally, lunch is really healthy. But on dinner, I'm going to have my drinks. I might have some dessert, right? But I don't come back from vacation just totally undoing all of my health and wellness. So I'm just curious. I would love for you guys to put any thoughts you have around that in the comments. I know it's a big conversation, right? Again, I ask us to all gently not judge each other, right? But to really have open conversations so that we can really help each other see what works for you. Remember, what works for you might not work for someone else. And I really just want you to take a minute and think about what does work for you, because that's when it gets exciting. That's when it gets really great, is that when we actually get in here and you have the conversation with yourself like, wow, I have done this yo-yo thing for 5 years and I am done. What is holding me back from getting to that turning point? Is it this mindset of total deprivation that's totally screwing me up? And do I need to look at it more like, you know what, I'm going to go all in, but this is what it's going to look like for me. And then I'm going to be your tough love coach, and I'm going to tell you, you have to deal with the reality. If you're not getting the results you want, you're going to have to deal with the reality that you're going to have to make some changes, right? So if you're all in includes, processed food every day and you're not getting the results you want, you have to look at that realistically and be like, you know what? It's time for a change. If it does, like for me sometimes, I'm drinking more regularly than I want to, and I'm not, and I'm feeling bloated, or I'm just like, Kat, you have to deal with the reality. You have to dial it back in. And you know what? Let's go all in. Let's go all in for 2 weeks and lock that back in so that you can feel good. Because ultimately, you guys, I will always say being a healthy weight is a part of being healthy, but you want to feel great. And whether you want to listen to your body or not, I'm telling you, your body is telling you. And what we really want to do is listen. When you're feeling, bloated, you're feeling all the things, you might be in denial about listening to that. I was for years in denial about listening to my body and how I actually felt, right? Gut protocol was amazing for me. It was the first time I ever listened to my body. I wasn't just, eating this plan. I was like, that's the way that food makes me feel, which was really kind of amazing for me. So I will always be so grateful for that process, right? So anyway, I hope that all makes sense for you. It is really about you learning how to make this a lifestyle of health and wellness. And what that looks like for you. There has to be periods that you go all in. What does all in look like for you so that you can reach your goals? And what is a balance of a lifestyle? Because I'm also not going to tell you that I'm going to be the coach that's like, just eat whatever you want and exercise, you'll be healthy. You're dying on the inside, boo, right? Because a lot of times that processed food is just killing your arteries and everything else, right? So we do have to deal with the realities, right? We have to deal with the realities, but we also have to be in a place of grace where we can understand that the mindset and relationship with food has got to be healthy. It's got to have a balance in it. It's got to feel good. We've got to remember this isn't about being skinny. It's about feeling amazing, right? So that you feel healthy and strong, and that we're serving our bodies because we love ourselves, right? That's where we want to be. So I know it's a really big conversation that needs to be a lot more than 15 minutes, but I just wanted to jump in and kind of poke the bear a little bit and start the conversation. So I'd love to hear your comments below. What do you all think about this? Where are you at with this? Do you need help with this? Let me know. But this is an amazing community, a safe, beautiful, amazing place for us to just have the conversation. So what are your struggles? How can we all help and jump in on that? All right. It's a good one. Happy Thursday.